Ai!
Hei, jätkät. Mitä muuten eilen on tapahtunut?
No niin jätkät. Nyt ollaan DigiExpossa. Uusi SimCity. Onkohan se hyvä? Veijarit fiilistelee kyltit heiluen, että nyt täytyy, ja ilmeisesti protestoivat sitä, että ei oo valtatietä.
Ei. Miksi sä tuhot mun kodin? Sä asut tuolla. Et asu enää.
Siika. Aika mystistä. Jannut pelaa siellä 2 boltsilla futista. Ai. Okei, tää vois kuulostaa siltä, että mainospohjata ja kaupalliset verkosta, mutta tästä tulee heti semmoinen SimCity-fiilis. Sitten oikeesti just sellainen, että tähän vaan
Nää huutelee tää koko ajan mitä ne haluaa. Aika siisti niinku sähkö tehtaassa on vaan niinku on ja off nappula. Haluaisin sähköä? Joo.
Ei oo sillä lailla kauhean realistista, koska täällä ei oo yhtään duunaria, joka vaan vetäis röökiä ja viislailis mimmeille. Niinku ei yhtään, nää kaikki tekee töitä. Kyseenalaistan tän.
My name is George Pagula. I'm an associate producer at Maxis, and I'm working on the brand new SimCity.
Okay. So is this, how long have you been working at Maxis?
I've been at Maxis for about 7 years now, and just recently on SimCity. Previously, I'd worked on a lot of the Sims titles.
Right, okay. So what did you bring with you from the Sims games to now SimCity?
Well, I've been part of the Maxis studio for a long time, and I think, brought a lot of that understanding of how we build those simulation games and make games that are open-ended, allow you to really do what you want, and push and pull on those simulation levers that like to push back and make for creative experiences.
Right. There have been more than a few SimCities over the years, so what details did you focus on at first just to sort of modernize it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a fantastic legacy to live up to there.
That is true.
So I guess there's three really key things that we focused on in this one. One, we really wanted to nail a new look, which we got in this like toy box look that you get, where you really want to zoom down and you see little people moving around and the buildings that are looking amazing, and you really want to grab, push, pull, poke them, even like destroy them. They're a lot of fun to play with. It's all powered, the simulation, by our new Glassbox engine. It's the most powerful city simulation engine that Maxis has built to date, and it really allows us to say, everything you see, we sim.
Right.
It's all in there. All the details are there. Everyone walking around, all the cars, all the buildings, they're all responding to the simulation. And third, we aimed to build it from the ground up as this connected multi-city experience that's a lot fun to play, by yourself or with friends.
Since the last SimCity, one could say that the world has changed, the world of gaming. So how relevant do you think a SimCity game is still, and how do you find a fresh audience? How do you sort of bring new people into it who may know SimCity only by name, but...
Well, I think, we've always had a great core experience. The simulation, people wanting to build something epic, like a monstrous, amazing city with skyscrapers. I think it just appeals to everyone's need to build, even from building blocks as a kid.
Minecraft.
Yeah, there's people love to build.
That is true.
That's there. The deep simulation and strategy is something that appeals to a lot of people. It's a lot of fun to tinker with that, to push knobs, to try and get the best result. But we also wanted to reach a lot of new people, make sure that we had creative tools in there. Our fans have been asking for curvy roads for a while. And that's actually a way you could go in, you could really design a city that, even if the roads just spin around for a while and look crazy and are fun to follow, they might not be the best for urban planning, but they're fun to play with. So yeah.
Exactly. And as we saw in the alpha, it's looking truly amazing. So PC only?
No, it's actually on the Mac as well.
Right. Yeah. But on computers only, no consoles.
Yeah. March 7th throughout Nordic territories. It'll be out for on the PC, available for Mac.
Perfect.
There you go. See that toy soldier image? You look on my screen, I can't see that. That's not happening for me. So that is basically what John Carver is seeing in his mind. That's part of his dementia, and it represents his dead son that got killed. So it's a. Well, let's play the cutscene. You will see. Yeah. It's actually dialogue there. It's very quiet, so you probably can't hear it too well. So he's talking about the fact that he's seeing things in the environment. And Isaac, he's gone through this before. He's trying to calm him down. And, explain to him that it's all in his mind. He's got to get through this. There's actually a vision of his dead wife's face on Isaac. So
That's really interesting that you just, the other player would see the one playing Isaac would just see the co-op character lifting something that's not there.
Nothing there. So you imagine you're playing across Xbox Live and your buddy's saying like, yeah, I'm seeing this kind of like toy soldier and this stuff, and I'm not seeing any of that. You know, what are you talking about? So it's
a
gonna be an
meta
interesting
game.
experience. It's also got audio logs in the game. The game needs help with the story progression and to give you some kind of background to what's happening if you play that. And you guys probably can't hear this, but I think you're probably hearing the voice of a woman.
Yeah, there's something very different going on in here.
So that's his dead wife. So again, even the audio messages he's hearing are distorted and different to what's happening in reality. If you look on my screen, you have a few problems there. I'll try and protect you. There you go, so that's what we're demoing today. So we just wanted to show you the single player first of all, to give you, which you can play all the way through, so you can see it's like classic Dead Space, isolation, terror that you can experience, but if you optionally want to take down the terror together and invite a friend to join the game at any point, we've got fully integrated drop-in, drop-out co-op, and they can play as John Carver, experience his story, his background, see his dementia, what's going on, explore new side missions and side quests. It's got different story details, different story cutscenes, there's different dialogue. So we wanted to offer a very deep co-op experience alongside the single player game.
Eli enemmän Nelinpelin juttuja seuranneet tietävät, että meidän pojat ei ole nyt ihan sillä suurimmalla innolla ja intressillä tuota kolmatta Dead Spacea odottaneet, mutta täällä DigiExpossa päästiin nyt sitten kokeilemaan tätä, nähtiin sekä yksinpeliä että sitten co-oppia, ja our eyes are open now. So, I shall now turn to English and present you with a man who has all the answers. So, sir, please introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, I'm Steve Paputzis. I'm the executive producer for Dead Space 3.
Okay. Now, Steve, we just saw the both single player and co-op, basically the same setup as a single player and as a co-op game. And surprised, shocked, kind of reinventing the wheel with the co-op experience, and truly surprising. Now, given that Dead Space 3 has, in fact, drawn quite a bit of worry from older fans that this is not the Dead Space of yore, it's not what we want, how does it feel now with the preliminary feedback coming in from journalists but still fans who are truly taken back by what they've seen? How does it feel?
Well, to be honest, it was really cool to see so many people concerned about what we were doing, because that says that people care about our game. Yeah. And so we were very flattered by it, but also, worried that people, thought we were going to screw things up. Yeah. And so it's great to be able to show the game to folks and let them see what we've been doing. Right. And I think it's just great to see people responding positively to it. We were very focused on making sure that our approach to co-op was innovative and remained true to what Dead Space is about. Right. Nobody knows more about making Dead Space than the Dead Space team, and so we're obviously going to be focused on delivering the very best Dead Space game we can. Right. Our players have supported us over multiple iterations, and it's critical for us to make sure we make the best game we've ever done. Right. So I know not everybody thinks that way outside of the team. They don't know what we're thinking or what we're trying to do, but we had a very methodical approach to what we were going to do. We weren't going to add co-op that forced an AI follower on you. We knew that people were going to be worried about that. We weren't going to add co-op that was required. So the way we're doing it, it's completely additive, meaning that the story is the same story start to finish, the bigger picture of the story. But if you choose to play co-op, you get additional information about John Carver. So it's additive to the story. It's completely drop in, drop out co-op. And we're taking advantage of having that second character to introduce some interesting moments like you saw today that, you know, kind of revolve around dementia. So it's really nice to hear people liking it. And, you know, we got our fingers crossed that all the players that get to play the game will enjoy it.
Right. Now, with having two very successful, very, very well-made horror games, or survival horror games, under the belt, now with Dead Space 3, where did you begin? You know, at some point the scares don't really make people leap anymore, which I'm sure, you know, that's one of the reasons why you wanted to sort of reinvigorate Dead Space. But where did you start? You know, after 2's done, and all the accolades and all the great sales, and then it's like, okay, Dead Space 3, go.
Yep. So our approach to our games have always been centered around the story. So the first thing is, with Dead Space 1 to Dead Space 2, people felt like there's a departure from Dead Space 1. Well, the truth is you can't tell the same story over and over again, because then people will just turn off. It's not interesting. Yeah. So we look at our games as an evolution every time we do them. So right now, this is a continuing journey of Isaac Clarke. So we're looking at him, we're focusing the story around his feelings and what he's going through, and we're evolving that story. In terms of, you know, you talked about horror and survival horror, we don't think of our game in those stereotypical terms. We think of our game in terms of descriptors. So it's not a survival horror game or an action game or a shooter. We think of it more as it's a game that needs to have great atmosphere, great sound, thrills, excitement, action, horror, terror. It has to have all of those things to become a Dead Space game. So as we're developing the game, we're constantly reminding ourselves, don't forget these things are critical to what we're making. So our stories, you know, given the fact that we've got our markers and the unitology and the necromorphs, lend themselves towards some pretty out there things, you know, in terms of scares and excitement. So we just really focus on that, and we make sure that those elements that we introduce fit within our story.
Right, but there wasn't like a moment of crickets when at some production meeting someone went, hey guys, co-op?
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, people were, even on the dev team, were concerned about it, and rightfully so. You know, I think people are very invested in what we do, and because of the support of our players, we've had the opportunity to make all these games. So people are concerned about it. We don't take that lightly. But at the end of the day, even back on Dead Space 1, we had the idea of doing co-op. A lot of people don't know this, but on Dead Space 1, towards the end of development, we turned on co-op, and you were able to play the game with 2 Isaac Clarkes running around. Now, we weren't going to ship that because that was at the end of development. It didn't fit, and it was really kind of just proof of concept in terms of the technology supporting it. But it was something that we were interested in, because one thing we've always liked is the idea of getting to play a game with your friend, share the experience with your friend. So that's something going way back that we looked at. But yeah, people were frightened about how are we going to do it without screwing up the story, without screwing up, you know, the elements that people enjoy from the series. And you know, what you saw today is how we're going to do it. And it's, you know, took a lot of time to develop that and figure out how to do that with a story while keeping the main narrative, you know, keeping that all held together and introducing the other character. It's not easy, but you know, the team did a great job of working on it and making it work.
That is true. From what we've seen, you guys are gonna hit it out of the park. Just saying.
Thank you.
So, Steve, thank you, sir.
Kudos.
What was that?
Kudos?
Kudos. Oh,
Kiitos.
close enough.
Kiitos.
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 Ole hyvä.
There you go. Kiitos. Tubes.
Hei jätkät!
No.
Me oltiin DigiExpossa. Jee!